you're I'm trying to get to that and you just went there. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about getting together with family. Mm-hmm. One, not everybody has family to get together with.
That's true.
Two, some families have
a lot of issues.
And getting together it can be very tenuous and a lot of people that fight and stuff during the holidays. What about that? How do you? Because I have a problem with that.
Well, it's another thing that I've seen. Let me touch on that first. That is true. There's a lot of trauma in families. That's our very first experience socially. And there's a lot of trauma that comes from that sometimes is unresolved or spoken of. And that does create an issue for a lot of people. There's a lot of people who are alone during the holidays.
Exactly.
And that's really unfortunate. Mm-hmm. Because again, that idea of communal give and take, it's not there. And for the most part, we are social creatures. And that isolation during this time, so much joy, quote unquote. It's tough, and I don't really know how to answer that or how do people handle it. And there's so many things. Oh, you go ahead and give at a at a soup kitchen or give to others, and you could do all that. You got to find your place. Mm-hmm. The individual has to find their place, where they fit in amongst that to feel a part of a community.
But also, is there that point of view where people? So, for example, I've already talked about my family history. I don't get along with my father very well, and I'm very distant from my extended family. Like I don't get together with them at all. I think it's just my brother, his lovely wife, and my nephew, and my other nephew, and my it's. So that's minimal for me. So really the bigger family is your side of the family, which is my family too. Mm-hmm. But that's the family that we get together with and we have fun with and whatever. So what about those people that have to make decisions about, well, this family doesn't get along with this family and now we have to do, because my brother brought that up the other day. He's like, it's sort of difficult because like now I have to make decisions about where am I going and what am I doing? And that's hard for people.
It is. I mean, it's very difficult to want to have a good time when people are in conflict in conflict with one another, right? Exactly. It's hard to bring people together for a joyous occasion when you hate your uncle or you dislike what this person's going to make some comment about this person
food.
Is going to do something stupid. This person is going to do that.
They're going to drink too much.
Somebody's going to get hammered and they're going to fight. All those things are true. I mean, so then there's two ways to look at. I mean, from my point of view, there's a couple of ways to look at it. One, you could say I'm only gonna be around the people that I really want to enjoy my time with. That's one option. That means that you have to be very strong and say no, I'm not gonna hang out. And you're gonna make some friends. Some people are not going to be happy.
Right.
So that's one option, to make the decision to say, no, I want to be happy and I want people around me to be happy. The other thing is, are you willing to put up with it for a little bit of time?
Just to and
what
are you sacrificing then?
Well, that's the question. What are you sacrificing? Because all right, are you going to mitigate the situation and you're constantly going to think about this? You want to have a good time during the holidays, but you're constantly in the lookout for this person. Or a group of people. Right. He's like, Uncle Tommy is gonna just act a fool.
Yeah.
Oh,
here he comes.
Here he comes. Oh,
here we go.
So you have to kind of like, are you gonna spend your time mitigating that, or are you going to be? I'm gonna go on the other way. And I'm just gonna invite people, or just you putting up with it for just a short period of time. Mm-hmm.
Small sacrifice
for the benefit of everything else. But the question is like, a person has to make that choice,
right? Because you're still sacrificing. Because if you're not happy,
yes,
but you're doing something because you know that this makes everybody else happy. That's something that you're saying the individual has to make that decision.
You have to make that choice, because now what you're doing is, if you're choosing to do something, but you're not going to. I don't know. I don't want to say the enjoyment, but there's every time you do something, there's something in it for you. You're either feeling good about what you're doing or you're getting something out of it. Material, well, people are going to give me gifts and they're going to give me alcohol and they're going to give me all that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You're going to, but if you want to do it just because you enjoy seeing people having a good time together, but and if you invite these people, you're not going to get that, then it becomes like, what is the risk to reward?
Well, and then that's where you're talking about, making that decision to say no. And because it's silly to say this, but no isn't a bad word. It's okay to say no if you're trying to defend that mental aspect of it.
But the fear is, I mean, you started talking about, traditionally what people do, right? So the fear with that is that if you say no or you decide to go in a different direction, then you begin to, to dismantle that tradition little by little, And what do you do when that tradition begins to dissipate? Now, traditions and things, they always evolve too. So, you started with a tradition. So again, like with my story, or a lot of Latin American people's story that come to the United States, there's a separation from our tradition. And then we come to the United States and we become more integrated with it. And a little bit of our tradition is left behind, like in the Christmas Carol, going through the neighborhood and singing, could you imagine, you have a whole bunch of Puerto Ricans with, abrame la puerta, que estoy en la calle, coming around in the neighborhoods, people, what the heck is happening? It is fun. Exactly. But it is.
Us Puerto Ricans, we crazy.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. But again, it's like we lose a little bit of that tradition, which is a beautiful tradition. And the question is, there's things that we have to accept as we move forward, and things will change, but it has to be up to the person to decide. Like I miss doing that. I miss doing those things, is going, aguinaldos is what it's called, to going onto all those different places. That was so much fun, and it was so communal, and music is involved, and people, like all the people are drinking, and you're, can I have some? It's like, get out of here, so you missed all that, but there's things that come with there's things that come with those too. You got the drunken person, you got the asshole, you got all that stuff. But we begin to lose it. But the question is, that person needs to figure out, okay, now that I'm here, I have my own family, do I want to put up with that, or do I gotta go the other way? Right. So you have
to be okay with whatever decision you make.
So to answer your questions, there's idea of expectation and reality. So we have our expectations in which everything is going to go perfect. Right. Everybody's going to get together and everybody's going to have a perfect time, and everybody's going to leave. Everybody's going to leave and everybody's going to be like, yay, was the greatest party ever. That's the expectation. The reality is you can't please everybody. No. And so then when you understand that, I think it becomes easier to make a choice. It's like, well, it doesn't matter what you do. Not everybody's going to be pleased. Right. Not everybody's going to act the way that you want it. So that control part is kind of like narcissistic a little bit. Because when you bring people together, when you bring a bunch of individuals together, there are commonalities, but they're all individuals. So they all do their own things. I mean, think of how many parties people do on a regular basis, and sometimes someone says something or does something, and you're like, oh. Or people, you go home and say, oh, that was a great party. But then there's somebody else who's, oh my God, I'm not doing that again.
Well, and I think also that what you're saying is that people need to be able to be okay with that, but not everybody has the capacity to do that. You're that guy. You're that guy that says, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not doing it. I don't want to do that. I'm not doing it. And then I'm that person that says, yeah, but we have to. If we don't do this isn't going to be good for us. We're never going to hear the end of it. And so there are people out there that really struggle with making that decision, with being the asshole or the bitch, whatever you want to call it. I mean, we just do. Now, as I've gotten older, I've gotten better at being able to say no and knowing that, you know what, it's okay to say no. Mm-hmm. I need to do this for my own sanity. This is what I want. Like, we were very clear on like what we want to do this year. This year we're doing Thanksgiving somewhere else. I don't want to do it here. And we're going away for Christmas. We're breaking our own tradition for Christmas. We're not even going to be here.
But again, it's like, if you think about it, things are always bound to change.
No, I understand that. But I'm saying, like, for the individual to be able to muster that strength to be able to say no, this is what I'm going to do this year, and be okay with it, and not feel guilty, and not carry that the feelings of guilt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And being okay with that, and understanding that it's okay for me to say no. This is not what I want to do.
But again, it's like, you have to understand, like, why are you doing something? Like,
right?
That's the bottom line. It's like, why am I doing this?
Right.
Like,
why am I going? Like, it's like when we want to go to when we get invited to go to the club, we don't want to go to the club. We just same thing, right?
So, well, yeah, but again, it's like, why do you want to bring people together for a holiday? Why? Is it because you want to really have a good time? Because you want to see it, you enjoy and watch everybody kind of like come together? Do you want to do it because you want to show off? Look at what I got. Because you want to, these are real things. I always tell people that, be honest with the reasons why you want something, right? If something is not making you like, man, I don't really want to do this, but I have to. But again, that's just me personally. And some people, you're an asshole. It's like, well, I don't want to spend too much of my energy doing certain things that I don't want to do. When I was younger, when I was little, my mom used to say all the time, it's like, you're very particular. There's some places that you go to that you feel like really comfortable, but there's some other places that you just don't. And if I don't feel comfortable at a place, why would I want to be there?
Same.
And if you have the freedom of choice to be at a place that you much rather be, do that.